Speaking for the trees, no matter where they're from. The podcast.
As you'll recall, I sent you an email requesting to talk to you about the incoming administration before the election, because I knew that no matter what the outcome of the election was, it was going to have an effect on these kinds of projects. And from the perspective of being opposed to habitat destruction and all the other environmental problems that are happening in the Mojave and the Great Basin from green energy, from that perspective, what do you think that the Trump administration is going to bring?
So this is a real interesting question. We're just speculating here. It could go different ways. I'll just put out some of the alternatives that I think, could actually happen here. He has in his debate and public speeches singled out solar energy. He doesn't necessarily get things right. He said rabbits get caught in the fences of solar projects, and he was really referring to wildlife. I mean, it does happen sometimes. Snakes and road runners have actually been caught in fences surrounding solar projects. So he heard that. And in the debate, he said, you need the whole desert. He said, these are really environmentally bad. And it was interesting to hear him say that. We've heard his team say that they're going to go drill, baby, drill, and they're going to sign a lot of orders that get rid of the Inflation Reduction Act and take away a lot of the incentives for solar energy. And so it'll be interesting to see what happened. In 2017, his administration put a moratorium on the BLM accepting any new solar applications for an entire year. And so the question is, will he do that again? We're not really sure about that, because one of the reasons that I'm not too sure about all of this, and one of the reasons it confuses me, is he's got Elon Musk advising him, and Elon's very, big on lithium mining. I mean, that was really his industry right there. And I've never really seen Elon Musk say too many negative things about solar energy. I've seen him say that we should cover a corner of Nevada with solar panels to power the country. And so that indicates to me that he's kind of behind a lot of those things. And so, what's Trump going to do? I'm not 100% sure. We do know he's going to probably cut the National Environmental Policy Act again. He's going to remove a lot of the regulatory hurdles, and many of those, of course, will be environmental. And when he does that, that's going to benefit a lot of industry. And like I said, the Wind Energy Association came out in support of what he did. What I'm thinking is some of the bigger companies that want to build solar projects might survive Donald Trump simply because they're big lobbyists, like NextEra Energy. They built the Yellow Pine project. They have some really big other proposals. There's EDF Renewables. They're the largest utility in France, and they build nuclear plants mostly, but they have a U.S. solar company over here, and they've got a lot of proposals as well. They're really well funded, and a lot of them can build these projects without a lot of the incentives and the goodies. One thing I wonder, though, is will Trump put more tariffs on solar panels? Because we do know it's still cheapest to import these from China. The Biden administration put the tariffs on there because of the way the workers were being treated. We don't think Trump would really care too much about that, but he's kind of a buy American person, and that might be a way he would foil the solar industry, and that would hurt them economically. And so But my question is how much would Elon Musk influence him into permitting more renewable energy? One interesting thing about the Trump administration is they came up with the executive order to expedite the development of critical minerals. I mean, the term critical minerals came up under Trump, and so that includes lithium, a lot of different things, copper. There's a lot of critical minerals out there. And The Biden administration never rolled that back. They just held on to it. They turned critical mineral mining into a justifiable renewable energy industry. And let's face it, renewable energy does need those minerals. And so Trump's certainly not going to roll back critical minerals. I mean, he's going to fight any reforms to the mining laws of 1872. So green energy mining will probably survive, maybe under the guise of something else. But those are just some speculations of it. The outgoing Biden administration is putting on a big rush to approve some of these projects before the new administration takes over in January. So we have both these competing administrations, working on their plans for public lands, and I'm hoping that we do get some rollbacks on solar projects from the Trump administration. I'm not happy at all that we're going to get 4 more years of these people, but I'm hoping there are at least some benefit that occur from it. But time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we can all agree that overall, environmentally, the Trump administration is likely to be just terrible, horrific across the board. But that there is within that context, there is a possible silver lining that, yes, maybe some of these large solar projects would get canceled or put off for now. And even if they're just put off, that's a few more years that the creatures who call that land habitat get to be there, and that's that much longer to see if we can save it permanently. Yeah, the lithium mining, we didn't talk much about that, but that's another thing that y'all are keeping your eye on, and that's been developed a lot in Nevada and then up into Oregon as well. And the lithium, of course, is needed for the batteries for the electric cars, And I saw a clip from a speech that Trump had given shortly before the election, and he was speaking, I think, in front of some auto workers, and he was delivering a line that he delivered many times before about he's against electric vehicles. This has been a theme of his now for years, of just opposing electric vehicles. But then he stopped halfway through the point he was making. Is this, well, actually, I've been spending more, I'm paraphrasing him here, of course. I've been spending more time with Elon Musk lately, and he's been talking to me about this. And so actually, I do think there's a place for them, he said, and I just really laughed, because that was definitely a theme this year of his campaign, was that he would get a big donation from some billionaire or spend some time with some billionaire, and then he would just completely flip-flop on something that he'd said before, and here it was. And so I saw that and I took that seriously. I'm like, okay, well, so in terms of lithium mining and whatever else needs to go with it, critical minerals for the electric vehicles, probably he'll just want to make that easier because of his friend Elon.
Well, and also just the mining industry in general has embraced these critical minerals and of course lithium mining, and they're a big lobby of the Trump administration. In all honesty, I don't see that getting better.
Yeah.
And if you'll remember that the Thacker Pass mine was approved at the end of the Trump administration on public land. And
Right.
so, and they did their part in streamlining that review as well. And I was part of that lawsuit, so I saw them. It was really frustrating to watch it. But unfortunately, the next administration didn't do much to change what they did. So I think lithium's here to stay because of Elon and because the electric vehicle industry is not going to just go away. Lithium was also needed for large scale solar batteries, and they actually do use quite a lot of it. And this is a side note, a lot of the solar plans, they don't even talk about what might happen if some of those start to burn. And that could happen out there, and that's a pretty big impact that I didn't talk about earlier. But back to Trump, I do agree with you. I think that the electric vehicle industry has gotten too big, really, to just go away. And I just don't think he's just going to be able to crush it like that. But again, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm underestimating him. I mean, what I hear is scary. I mean, mass deportations is like a overhaul. I mean, he's going to get rid of all these federal agencies, and I'm hearing some pretty strong stuff from the source. And so I'm not walking into this, all happy and thinking Trump's going to help us. A lot of the people in these little towns around here voted for him for that reason. And I hope he does come through. But the problem also here in Nevada is developing renewable energy is in the state constitution. Reaching the RPS, the Renewable Portfolio Standard, with put in part of the Constitution. And the renewable companies are heavy donors to Governor Joe Lombardo, who is a Republican. And so he's been portrayed in some media as a clean energy giant. And so I think, and he was endorsed by Trump, I think, or excuse me, he endorsed Donald Trump. And so they're, videos of them shaking hands and having a drink together. So I'm just saying there's green energy is going to be embedded in the economy, and Trump's just not going to kill it all. But I'm hoping he takes like this special unreasonable Trump hate against wind turbines and solar panels, and he does. He kills some of these projects. I'll even send him a thank you letter if he kills one around me.